Hi, my name is Binu Kurian. I'm joining you from the Turtle on the Beach, Kovalam, for a program Hospitality Chit Chat with eminent hospitality personalities of India. Today, we are in Turtle on the Beach, a flagship property by Thomas Hotels Resorts.
Indulge in a stylish boutique experience at a beach destination, Kovalam, one of the best known destinations in India, has a bohemian vibe of a beach combined with the tranquility typical of Kerala. A grand vista and a peaceful surrounds. The strikingly designed turtle on the beach, facing Ave Beach, captures this blend perfectly, starting with the traditional vermilion welcome as you enter. The ethos of this boutique hotel is unmistakable. The stylish, Zen-like lounge which looks on the sea from heights at a stage from your stay. Wipe the tropical humidity from your face with a cool towel provided. Sit with the arty Buddhas on the wooden benches and join them in listening to the sounds of the sea. Where are we? We are in Turtle on the Beach, a boutique hotel in Kovalam. Experience the lush, elegant and serene hideout for a holiday to remember. The ethos of this boutique hotel is unmistakable. The stylish lounge, which looks onto the sea from a height, set the stage for your stay. Turtle on the Beach offers 7 distinct types of rooms and 3 different dining experiences to choose from. For those who are tired of the daily hustle and bustle, there is an Ayurvedic Vaidishala to help you relax. For those close by, one can organize large get-togethers, engagements, birthday parties and so on at the various halls in the resort. All such conference halls are sea-facing and give us an experience no other hotel in Kovalam can offer. Catamaran is the main restaurant at the Turtle on the Beach. It is, in fact, a link between the street and the Arabian Sea. As you come down the stairs from the street, art in different forms welcomes you to the restaurant. Catamaran serves multi-cuisine with a fine spread of culinary delights. The sumptuous, themed international buffet will give your taste buds a new high. The restaurant for breakfast, dinner will flown into the poolside with a candle light at night. It is here that the restaurant establishes link with the sea. You can listen into the waves or watch the Arabian Sea in all its splendor. Catamaran is all about fine dining at its best.
Greetings of the day. Today, we are in the background of Kovalam, where we are going to meet the CEO of the company, Mr. Joseph Garcia.
We have the privilege to introduce Mr. Joseph Garcia, a known hospitality professional with 33 years of experience. Beginning his career in 1986 with Taj Malabar in Kerala. After a 12-year stint with the Taj Group of Hotels, he was responsible for setting up and commissioning and successfully running Kumaragam Lake Resorts. After the stint with Kumaragam Lake Resort, he has opened Carnoustie Wellness and Ayurvedic Resort in Alleppey. It was another success story under his tenure, wherein the resort was classified and brought up to international standards, commanding one of the highest ARRs in Kerala. I repeat, average room revenue. He was selected as one of the best 12 hotel general managers in India by a survey conducted by Safari India magazine for Safari India Awards in 2009. He was also the Vice President of Rami Group of Hotels and Vice President Operations and Business Development of Goldfinch Group of Hotels, Bangalore, an upper mid-segment hotel group. He was the CEO and Director of Hospitality and Healthcare Lanka Private Limited, based in Colombo, Sri Lanka and Costa Rica. He currently holds the position of CEO at Thomas Hotels Resorts, managing 2 properties, Turtle on the Beach and Estuary Island. His strength lies in setting up hotels from the project stage as pre-opening head to successful operations, marketing and turnaround of underperforming properties. Here we go to meet Mr. Garcia.
Good morning. We have somebody called Joseph Garcia. ഈ ഗാസിയ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ഒരു കേരളത്തിൽ അധികം കാണാത്തൊരു പേരാണല്ലോ. Are you a Malayali?
If I have to answer that, it will be a very long story. I don't know, we have the time for that.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I will make it short. I come from Kutanad, where the agrarian families, and we were, those days it was all very large families, you know. I'm talking about I was born in 1964, so I was the 11th member of my family, And my father, as usual, had all those names. We were 7 boys and 4 girls. So the Jacob, the Tommy, the Bobbies were over. Then he was stuck with Ruperil. So then my eldest brother, who was in Goa, suggested a name called Gonzalo Garcia, which was under a very popular saint at that time, as the first saint of India. അങ്ങനെയാണ് എനിക്ക് ആ പേര് കിട്ടിയത്.
Okay. So you belong to a big family, അല്ലേ? It's a big agriculture family.
Yes.
So the next question would be, what, I see a beautiful property. You are a CEO of this, hotel group. From agriculture family to a hotelarian, how did you manage this? How does the transition happen?
Surprisingly, this is a question I have been answering from the time I went for my interview to the IHM, to various jobs I had. My first interview, campus interview with the Taj and the Oberois and the Welcome Group. So they were asking me this. First, what influenced me is one of my brothers, who was actually had chosen this field, and I saw he was leading a very nice, glamorous kind of life. So that is how I thought, okay, I must try this. Though I did not know so much, and that time in Kerala, hospitality industry was in its, not even a Taj had come in when I went to study hotel management. But what I saw, my brother working at Baroda at some hotels, and I found he was already a general manager. So I found that, it looks very glamorous, very interesting, and so I chose that, yes.
Sir, I understand that you have a very illustrious career of 12 years with Taj, and you have come from Bombay to Cochin to open Taj Malabar. I'm sure that you'll have a lot of experience, positive experience with Taj. Would you like to share some of your experience with Taj?
Oh yes, I have. In fact, as I told you, I had opted for Taj Mumbai, which was my dream, and they told me as a Keralite, and they were starting Taj Malabar. In 1986, they said, go to Taj Malabar and join Taj Malabar. And that was the first Taj hotel in Kerala. Taj Malabar was the first. And Taj Malabar in itself had a very historical past. It was one of the oldest hotels in Kerala, more than 100 years. So the old heritage wing of the Taj was commissioned, and we were all trainee supervisors. So I was the trainee catering assistant, and the experience has been tremendous, right from learning the nitty-gritties of the trade to dealing with customers who were very, very demanding, because in Taj you have everybody who would be somebody or the other connected with the Tatas, or people who were very high up in their companies who would come. And being in Wellington Island, it had a lot of import-export houses. So they were tea exporters, seafood exporters. So we were dealing with CEOs, MDs, chairmans of companies who were used to luxuries, who have traveled the world. I remember meeting people like Field Marshal Manik Shah when he was one of the members of the Harrison Malayalam. It was called the Harrison Crossfield then. So many people I have met who have really scaled heights, people who were retired, who had already made marks in their life, KPP Nambiar, Admiral Pereira, to plenty of people who have worked in that. I have also had the opportunity to be part of, presidential visits. The president of Portugal, Mario Soares, had been an official guest, of India, and he stayed at Taj Malabar because of the Portuguese connections. So we were all part of the select few who were deputed to serve him, and also the President of India, Mr. K.R. Narayanan. So I had the honor of being in the core team who were serving him. Then we also did some very high-profile conferences and for board meetings of the Hindustan Unilever. Plenty to talk about, and Taj had been the training ground. That is where I learned everything. I owe a lot to Taj for what I am today, because we were all put straight away into, of course with a little bit of training, but straight away in with the guests. And the guests were our biggest trainers. They would ask for this, that, anything. And in Taj, you would never say no to a guest unless it is against the law of the land or you're breaking the law of the land. Anything else, there was no a word called no in our dictionary. So in that sense, that is where I've learned. I've carried that legacy, I've carried that culture all along in my career, and that's what helped me become successful in this industry.
Saying very happy to hear that you had very happy moments with Taj, and I think you broke away your service with Taj after 12 years. Then what was the next opportunity that you grabbed it?
In fact, I've never wanted to leave Taj in the first place. So I worked with 12 years. I was fairly successful. Almost every 2 years I had a promotion. I was already one of the youngest GMs at that time with the Taj. I was the GM of Taj at Taj Kumrakam. But that's when one of my ex-bosses of Taj, he was the Senior Vice President for Southern Region, Mr. Shankar Menon, and the former chairman of the Taj, Dr. Kerkar. So they were forming their own company called the Tulip Star. So since Mr. Shankar Menon knew me and I was reporting in some ways to him, being part of the Southern Region General Manager, so when he asked me if I would like to join them, I said, why not? So without even thinking twice, I thought I could have a greater career with them, because they were the ones who were really instrumental in bringing Taj to that big, as the largest brand, the largest hospitality chain in the country. A resort called Akosirin, which is in Paravur, near to Varkala. So I knew the owner, and that was, it's not a very large, but it's a large area, almost 15 acres, but with 28 villas. And so I was, told to be the general manager. But more than joining Akosirin, I was very thrilled to join Dr. Kerkar and Mr. Menon, being part of their team, So that's how I joined Akosirin, and then from there I moved to successful brands like Kumrakam Lake Resort after 2.5 years. Having said that, in Taj you are limited to your general management or basic operations of a hotel, but when I moved out of Taj, I also learned a lot about sales and marketing, because we had to do that as because this was a standalone property of the first property of the Tulip. So I did get the opportunity to go abroad, take part in a lot of international trade fairs like ITB Berlin, WTM London, and Arab Travel Mart, to so many. That's the first time I could get a first-hand experience of doing sales and marketing, which if I was in Taj, I would have probably not got the chance, because that was a separate department altogether.
I believe there are a lot of challenges in the HR side, to get the right people to do for the job, and you were saying about the quality rather than quantity. So seeing all these things, what is the advice that you would like to give to the young interns from the hotel management schools, or young aspirants who wants to start as a career in hospitality industry? What is that?
Tourism is one of the largest employers in the country, and will continue to be one of the largest employers in the country. In the sense, domestic tourism will be a very large component of our tourism industry, and all Indians, big or small, wants to travel. So there's tremendous scope, and there's a lot of new hotels coming up. So what we see is a paucity of staff. It is not necessarily that everybody has to be a hotel management graduate. We have people who are who could be just basic entry-level jobs, maybe 10 PAS or not even 10 PAS. Skill development programs have been done by Government of India. So that is also helping people who have not even probably passed 10th standard, who could get those basic skills and start to be employed in the hotel industry. Even Government of India with Tourism Department and Hotel Partnership, there is something called Hunar Se Rozgar. That is also, taking, unemployed youth, training them, paying them a stipend to even learn. Where will you get that? So, and then they are absorbed by that hotel, or they are sent out into the market, into the industry, and anybody could absorb them. There is always, initially there was a big euphoria about hotel industry. Now, owing to its peculiarity of say long hours sometimes, or you work when others holiday, so it has become a little unattractive in that sense. But I must say the career scope for this industry is very high. You don't have to probably earn, spend huge money to learn, but you could be a general manager earning as good as what a pilot earns, So, but the kind of money that you invest in learning hospitality is 1/10 of money that you spend for an engineering or a medicine or thing. But your quality of life or the salaries match up to any of these in other professions. And also it is a very glamorous industry. In that sense, it should attract more people.
Joseph Garcia's day, how does it start, how does it end?
Most of the time in my later years, I have stayed at the hotel. So I don't have a fixed day that I come to my office at 9 o'clock. Sometimes I'm up and taking a round as early as 6 o'clock. If I get up at 4:30 in the morning, maybe I'll just go around and see. Though 9 to 6 is never for us. So I sometimes go to office at 9, but many days I go early, some days I go late, but then I sit late night, or there are days then I go early and then I leave early. So it's like that, and every day is a different day. Every day you look forward to a new challenge.
We just forgot to ask your family background. So could you just let us know what is your family background?
My wife's name is Veda. Now she comes from again a background of hoteliers.
Oh, that's good.
Her brothers were all products of IHM Mumbai.
Oh,
Tangam Phillips, Mr. Simons. Two of my brother-in-laws were the contemporaries of KG Simon, who was the second principal of Mumbai Catering. So when my wife and I got friendly, we met at the industry at the Taj Malabar. So when she said, we were planning to, settle down, get married, so my brother said, "You want to marry another hotelier?" She said, "Yeah, but you guys are hoteliers, so what is wrong?" And we have gone through the thick and thin of it. We have brought up 3 children. Though my kids would have also grown out of hotels. Wherever I was staying in Taj Varkala, my kids would pack their uniform, put their tiffin and go, because initially I didn't get a house outside, so they were literally getting out of the hotel, getting into the school bus. So for them, like a hotel industry is like another extension of their home. My wife has been very supportive. My kids understand my lifestyle. So we really, in hotel industry, you cannot really plan something for a holiday. So I tell them last minute, okay, come on, pack up, let's go for a 2-day holiday. Because you plan something that is the time when some important function happens, or your boss turns up, your chairman of the company comes. So my family has been used to these change in last minute plans.
What is your success mantras?
Of course, passion, hard work, and being very faithful to the profession, and being honest. Wherever I have changed many jobs. Of course, my first largest stint was with Taj, 12 years. I had 2 stints at Kumarakom Lake Resort. The first being the first GM and being the second GM, I put in 5 years. Another almost 2 years with Karnosti. The owner still is in touch with me. Thing is, people remember you. If your track record is good, even if you're looking for a job, people are happy to hire you.
Correct.
So I ensure that my track record is always good. I do justice. I give back much more than what the owners give me, or what the customer expects. I give back much more than what they expect. So we exceed the expectation, we say, creating wow every time, So that is what I always believe in. But then, having said that, one cannot rest on one's laurel. every day you have to prove that you're good enough, and as we get older, the challenge is even more that you are still good, you are still in the reckoning, you know. So that way I don't find it at all difficult.
His age says that he's still, his age is just a number.
Yeah.
He's so young at heart to prove the dictators that he's still a, a young man at heart to deliver goods for the hospitality industry in Kerala. Thank you very much, Mr. Garcia. It was a real pleasure to meet you.
Thank you, Bill.
And giving us an opportunity to host in Turtle. All right, thank you.
My pleasure, my pleasure.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.